let's turn our attention to your top 10 cornerbacks. Again, for those of you just joining us, quick look at our NFL draft prospect grading scale. This is the CPGM scale. Again, if you see a grade of 1, then you're like us. You're one of us. You're a couch potato GM, undrafted, all the way through day 1 Hall of Fame. So just a little context there as you see the grades associated with each of these players in Headley and Drew's rankings. All right. And we started off with cornerback 10. Headley, you have an actual tie, as a matter of fact, as far as your grades are concerned. Deonte Banks and Darius Rush both get a 7.08 from you. Drew, you give Rush a 7.0. I want to start with you, Drew. What is it that you like about Darius Rush?
He's aggressive, physical, and he can run the route for the receiver. And you like that from a cornerback. He's about that life in terms of coming up and sticking his head in the run game. My concerns for him after about 8-9 yards. What happens after that? Because if he misses, he gonna miss. Because there was some guessing, and if he that's my first note of him. He guesses. So I would rather him play to the technique, play to the scheme versus trying to guess as to what's going to take place. Because if you miss and you're out there on an island by yourself, which corners tend to be, that's a problem. So that's something I think he's going to have to work on. Again, I know he's an aggressive player, but you can't be guessing at the cornerback position, because if you guess wrong, it could be 6.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be calculated in terms of when he takes his opportunities,
Chances.
when he decides to be aggressive. I thought watching him at Mobile, he just showed a level of confidence considering, I mean, he ran 4.36 at the combine. So he has a long speed, right? So I think that in part gives him that confidence to be aggressive. Now, again, you don't want him guessing per se, but I thought he did a good job of watching the hips of the receivers, understanding, running the routes for them. You know what I'm saying? That to me had nothing to do with guessing. I thought he just took the body language cues from the receivers and understood what they were trying to do to him, and he took advantage of it. I'll be honest with you. I've gone to, I guess, the last 6 or 7 Senior Bowls, been a member of the media, covered the Senior Bowl as a member of the media for the last 4 years, and I've yet to see a corner be that effective in one-on-ones. The one-on-ones are usually, designed for the receivers to really show what they can do, especially the smaller, quick guys. But, there's no leverage, there's no help, there's no pass rush, whatever the case may be. And Rush was dominant in one-on-ones. So I think he took whatever it is that he needed to take from in season and applied it to the offseason. I think he's one of those players who's had a terrific pre-draft process. Headley, your thoughts on Rush before you get into Deonte Banks?
Yeah, you see the height right there, 6'2", 200 pounds. So he has what NFL teams covet. And I think Juice, you said it, man. The level of confidence that he played with, you just saw it oozing off of him in the Senior Bowl, talking, getting it with his teammates, man, and just getting them riled up when they got down. He just has that, man, that short memory that you need from the position, because that's one of the best abilities a corner can have. You're all alone on that island, and you won't get beat. It's a passing league, but you got to be able to shake it off, get to the next snap, and have that mindset that I'm not getting beat again. And Darius Rush has that. Sticky cover corner, mirror and match receiver. Like you said, he was running the routes for receivers oftentimes in that one-on-one. But he does have that tendency to get guys behind him. He makes up for him with that 4.3 speed. But sometimes, if you watch the game against Tennessee, and I know a lot of people got with that switch release against Tennessee, Jalen Hyde and those boys, but he kind of blew a couple coverages. He just, wasn't always there. So just got to watch that at the next level. I think that he got to clean that up, man. But other than that, I like him as a prospect.
All right. And your thoughts on Deonte Banks?
Deonte Banks. I know some people might get at me. I might have him too low. I know Bucky had him as one of his top corners in the class. And, I like Deonte Banks. The size, he's 6 foot. I thought he was a little taller than that, but 6 foot is still good size. Quiet feet, shows patience. He has that size speed duo. He's another guy that ran 4.3 like Darius Rush. Just the only question marks for me right now is just ball production. When his back is to the football, I don't think he finds it as good. I think Rush actually did a little better job of finding the football than him. But, the traits, the size, the speed, the sticky coverage, the feet, I think he possesses all of that, man.
All right. We move on to ninth-ranked cornerback, and this may come as a surprise to some. Keeley Ringo. You guys actually have a consensus here. You can see Headley and Drew's grades. When you talk about the size and the ball skills certainly is there. The speed is there. What's the concern here with Ringo being as low as cornerback 9?
It's two things. One is, and we've talked about it numerous, and Headley will probably make mention to it in terms of visibility to the want to in the run game. Again, you're a cornerback. I don't need you to go out there and tackle the guy coming around the corner, but I need the effort there. And at times he's not even in the screen. At times he's not getting off blocks. Again, we don't know if that's a business decision, but that's a mindset for me, right? I don't. As big as you are, as fast as you are, I need you to be in the screen, bro. Make a play. Do something. Throw your body. Something. Give me something. I'm just looking for something, man. And the other thing, and this is the thing I noticed immediately about watching him, he's extremely physical and feisty, and he's all the way down the field with that. And in college, you can get away with that. In the NFL, that's pass interference, that's holding, that's illegal contact, whatever you want to call it. So he's going to have to trust his technique because he has all the attributes you want from the position.
When I watched Ringo last season, I had him cornerback 1 coming in. The 2021 tape was impressive. And I'm not sure what happened last year, 2022. I don't know if it was a confidence thing. He got beat a couple times. He got lost in coverage a couple times. Because when you watch the 21 tape, you see he's in phase. He's always in the receiver's hip pocket. Smart, instinctive. He understands his assignment. He could travel. I saw him outside, inside. He was pretty much locked down in 2021. And then 2022 came. And then I started seeing, like, the missed tackles. Maybe like you said, business decisions. Like, I don't want to get hurt out here, but like you said, Drew, that's a mentality thing because a lot of these other corners above them, they don't play like that. They're physical, they tackle, they want to, they got that dog in them. And, Keeley Ringo just disappointed me this year. But the traits are there. Like you see, 6'2", 200. He could locate the football. He could attack the football at the highest point. Got really good ball skills. You just got to clean up that tackling. And the good news is I think that could change at the next level. He should be a first-round pick because of the traits, the size, the ball skills, but he just got to clean up that at the next level.
All right, we move on to cornerback 8 here, and you guys are split. You guys are split on this one. Headley, you have Trevius Hodges Tomlinson, the cousin or nephew. I'm not certain. I don't recall. Nephew of LaDainian Tomlinson, and Drew, you have Clark Phillips III. Now, of course, in season, Clark Phillips had a ton of ball production. He was rising up people's rankings. Of course, his pre-draft process hasn't been quite as good. When you look at the film, Drew, what are your thoughts on Phillips?
Like you spoke about in terms of his production, he tracks the ball well. So I think he's a corner that's going to have to play with his eyes on the cornerback because in my notes, one of the things I have is he's an athlete playing cornerback. So he's just kind of out there still trying to figure it out. If I'm not mistaken, and somebody hit me in the comment section, I think he was a former receiver, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Just, getting my wires crossed here. But he just has more to learn from the position in terms of technique, in terms of just being consistent at the position. Because when he's doing it right, he's outstanding. But again, it's just not consistent enough. And when you talk about the cornerback position in terms of if you're going to be small and not, I'm not going to call him slow, but if you're going to be small and not fast, right? You got to be your technique. Everything has to be right? Because you don't have the luxury of making up anything if you don't have the speed or if you don't have the size to make plays, right? But he's got the production, so he see football, go find football. So that he has that there, but it's just he's got to be more consistent from the position. It's a little frustrating to watch him, man. I think he played. I thought he played better this year than last year because he was kind of, he's taking steps. He's improving, man. Maybe if he stayed another year, maybe we're talking about a different player. But, hey, man, do what you do. Get out there and make your money, man.
Headley, Tomlinson, obviously a lot of production here. Drew made mention of Phillips' size. Of course, Tomlinson is actually smaller. Your thoughts on him and what role do you expect for him at the NFL level?
Trevius Hodges Tomlinson, love the tape. Just the size concerns. You said 5'8", 178. Teams might want to play him inside. Outside, though, I saw him compete against 6'5", 6'6" receivers. Mm-hmm. Get up there. He's feisty at the catch point. He has really patient feet, sticky defender. Sometimes it might be a little too sticky. You got to watch at the next level for holding down the field. But the hips are fluid. I love his click and close ability to blow up screens. He reads the quarterback eyes. He jumps routes. Like I said, I like him outside on tape, but you know, the next level, he might have to slide inside 5'8", 178. And also, I'm gonna bring up a name because I see a lot of similarities in their game. It's a guy that I had cornerback one. I think a couple of us had his cornerback one, Jair Alexander. Hodgson Thompson is smaller than him, but I know when Alexander was coming out, people talked about his size, and he's impressed ever since he's been in Green Bay. So, you know, sometimes the size, man, when you got that heart and you're feisty at the catch point and you got that vertical leap to get up there with those 6'5" receivers, sometimes the size don't matter, man. And I like Hodgson Thompson a lot.
No, hell of a football player. Are you anticipating Phillips moving inside as well, Drew Headley?
Yeah, I think Phillips inside, or it got to be zone cover 2 if he's going to be outside.
Yep.
Okay. All right, fair enough. You know, I never really understood the knock on Alexander for his size. It wasn't as if Denzel Ward was this behemoth at the cornerback position either, right? And when it came to physicality, I think it, you know, outside of a couple highlight reel type hits, Alexander was a more physical player. So that never really made a whole lot of sense to me. We move on to cornerback 7, and you have it reversed, right? So at cornerback 8, you had Tomlinson, Headley, and Drew had Phillips. At 7, you have Phillips Headley, and Drew has Tomlinson. And interesting enough, you guys actually have the same grade for these two players, right? It's just in the reverse. It's odd. It's odd. It's odd how that worked out. Your thoughts on Phillips Headley?
Yeah, these guys are both smaller guys. These guys, the tape impressive, but at the next level, they're gonna get. I wouldn't be surprised if Phillips drops to day 3. Hodgson Thompson maybe drop to day 3 because of the size. I think a team, whoever drafts him, is gonna get a steal. But Clark Phillips, man, just made play after play. He's very instinctive, especially in the zone. The ball skills, you saw it, jumping routes, reading quarterback's eyes, quick twitch at wide receiver stems. He kind of runs the route sometimes for receivers. You know, guys made a living off of that at the next level. Like Asante Samuels made a living off of that. Just being able to just read the quarterback eyes, jump in the passing lane, catch the ball, and get to the thing. So size and speed, if you have that gifted ability to attack the football and read quarterback's eyes, it's not a big deal. I think Clark Phillips does have some things to clean up in his game. What I had for him was against man, he's not as sticky against man. Sometimes he doesn't come up and make the tackles. I want to see more physicality from him. He'll blow guys up sometimes, but just more consistent, bringing that physicality. Like I said, man, that breaking on the ball, reading the quarterback, that's special talent because a lot of corners in the league, even the better ones, maybe say like a Jalen Ramsey, they don't read quarterback eyes and attack the football and turn the football over as much as Clark Phillips will.
Yeah, that could change the tide of a game. It could change, you know, how you see a particular player. But when you're rating 2 or 3 players, if you can be a playmaker, that's huge, man. But in terms of Travius Hodges Tomlinson, Headley kind of spoke to everything that he is. He is a smaller player. You said who was the comp you said he was?
Jair.
I see some
Jair.
Jair in this game. Yeah,
I was thinking, and you said it. I got my notes. I got Denzel Ward stick in that hip pocket and kind of just stay near because he knows. And to me, he knows that he's a smaller player. So I'll fight with you at the line, but I'm not trying to hem you up. Right, I'm trying to slow you down, sit in your hip pocket, and then when the ball is thrown, I can go and try to make a play on the football, right? And his size comes into play when you talk about down the field, the ball's up in the air, and obviously the receiver is bigger, taller, can go up and get it. But that receiver gonna have to fight to bring that ball down because he's gonna be right up there with him, trying to make a play on the football, trying to separate ball from man, and he has late hands, so he's not panicking or anything like that. When the ball's in the air, he's trying to go up, he's trying to knock it down, man. And if you're going to be that small, and if you're not going to be too fast, you got to be physical. You know what I mean? And he's got that in spades, and he's got that kind of that Jair in terms of, I don't care, bro. Like, I'm here. I'm going to let you know I'm here, bro. I'm going to be in your ear. I'm going to let you know. I don't know if you're going to feel me in terms of me hitting you, but you're going to know I'm here. It's going to be a concern for the receiver. I think he can play inside, outside. Probably he's got to tighten up on the tackling. Got to tighten up on the tackling. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna say he can play nickel. I'm gonna say gingerly. He can play nickel, but I definitely think he can play outside.
I have a sneaking suspicion that these two guys are going to be really good at the next level,
Yeah.
right? They're going to play inside. You know, they're going to be pigeonholed inside because, you know, Clark Phillips has the technique issues. He's not necessarily all that big. Hodges Tomlinson, a cleaner prospect from a technical perspective, but even smaller. So I think NFL organizations are going to move them inside. But if they're willing to stick their nose in there and run support, I think that short area instincts and ball skills and being able to get their hands in there and disrupt, I think they can be really good players. So I'm interested to see where they land and ultimately how they're deployed, because I think they can be difference makers. They're not necessarily going to be, the quintessential I'm gonna follow the top receiver all around the field, right? They're not gonna be those guys, but they strike me as the type of player that's indispensable on your 53-man roster. All right, moving right along, we have cornerback 6. And Headley, you have Garrett Williams from Syracuse. The often forgotten Garrett Williams, considering his injury, cut his 2022 season short. And then, Drew, you have Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. I want to start with you, Headley. Your thoughts on Garrett Williams?
Like you said, he kind of got lost in the sauce because of the injury, the ACL injury. We don't know what he looks like. I don't think he's going to be running. We're not going to see how fast he is. So that's the knock on Garrett Williams right now. But, the tape, especially 2021 and part of 2022 when he did play, he'll come up and hit, even if it's selling all the way out, man. We talked about certain guys like Ringo don't have that dog, that physicality, that want to. Garrett does, 100% effort guy, locate the football at the highest point. He flies to the ball carrier. I like how he mixes up his coverages. I think he can play zone because he had click and close ability. He's sticky in man coverage. The only thing I do question is deep downfield in man coverage. I've seen Charlie Jones from Purdue beat him a couple times deep. But, I like him in press. I think one of his best attributes is how he flips his hips. Just locating the football deep down the field. That's the only thing I question, but he's a good tackler. He possesses everything you want from a corner. 5'10", 192. I think that's pretty good size. And, yeah, he might become a steal also because of the injury. Mute. Yeah, both on mute. Double mute.
Down. Double mute.
I'm trying to tell Drew he's on mute, and I'm on mute. Jeez.
We want to talk about production. We was talking about Clark Phillips III, and we got Mr. Production in Emmanuel Forbes. This guy has 6 pick six. Can't say it right, man. 6 pick sixes. Did I say that right? I don't even know if I said it right. It sounds like coming out of my mouth.
That's it.
Let me just pull up these quick notes. Man got 14 interceptions, carried 22 pass deflections. That speaks to his production, his ability to get his hands on the football. He's one of his issues is he is light, and I don't think that he's a man corner. I think he's a zone corner. He's long and he's a playmaker, and you just have to allow him to make plays, whether it be cover 2, cover 3. I think he passes things off very well in a zone. You know what I'm saying? He you just don't want to let people kind of run by you. You know what I mean? You want to get your hand on a guy, slow him down, kind of guide him away, and then, pass him off, and then be able to still be in your zone. And I think he does that very, very well. I think he's an intelligent player. One of his pick sixes, he was going against Kentucky. They ran a play twice. I think it was a screen pass. Within the same drive, he recognized it, said, not happening, picked it off, pick 6. So he's an intelligent player, man. So, and in zones in particular, you have to be intelligent because you have to recognize things that are happening so you can, obviously find the football. And he does that very, very well.
Cornerback 5 are the same 2 corners. Again, not unlike the Clark Phillips, Travius Hodges Tomlinson scenario. You have these 2 corners, Emmanuel Forbes, Garrett Williams, flipped. So, Headley, you have Forbes as your cornerback 5, and Drew, you have Williams as your cornerback 5. Drew just spoke about Emmanuel Forbes. Headley, give me your thoughts on him.
Big time ball skills. He looks like a wide receiver. The ability to high point the ball, like Drew said, 6 pick sixes. I think out of every corner in this class, he's number 1 in ball skills. He plays it like a wide receiver. Prototypical cover 3 guy. I see a lot of Trayvon Diggs in him. You guys like Tyreek Woolen, who the Seahawks drafted last year. I saw him play press and off. But like Drew said, I think his schematic fit is that zone cover 3 corner. But he's not afraid to be physical. Like he says, he'll come up, he'll bump you, he'll throw you off your route. And the concern I have with him is sometimes he comes too physical and he missed a lot of tackles in open field. He got to shore up that tackling, man. Like sometimes you're one of the last lines of defense, and if they get by you, receivers can take it to the house. So he just got to just be more patient, break down a little better, and just make the tackle, or just hold guys up until your safety or your linebacker over there. But big time ball skills, man. He's one of my favorite corners in this class.
Interestingly enough, you guys have the same grade for these 2 guys. Again, that kind of mirrors what happened with Hodges Tomlinson and Clark Phillips. Go ahead, Drew, with Garrett Williams.
Yeah, Garrett Williams is a little bit of a mystery because obviously he was hurt early in the season, torn ACL. So, and I know he was in a lot of people's top fives in terms of corners, preseason, whatever it is. And in some cases, I think I may have seen him. He might have been some people's number one corner. It's just unfortunate he got hurt. But what I have for him, man, he's 5'10". I'm not gonna call it small. So let me not say that. He's physical. He has that click and close you want from the position. He's a hip pocket player. He's not looking to hem you up the line of scrimmage. And listen, he's coming to bring that heat, coming downhill to lay folks out or make the tackle Devin Witherspoon style. I just wish we were able to see a little bit more of him. But I think he is, Headley said earlier, he's going to be a steal for somebody, man, due to the injury. Like people have forgotten about him, kind of out of sight, out of mind. But to me, he's the complete package. I would agree with Headley in terms of wanting to see that long speed in terms of down the field. But other than that, man, he gonna ball for somebody. Just think about it. Who's Garrett Williams? Don't forget how talented this guy is, man.
Yeah, he's a common draft selection for us at that third, fourth round turn.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine if he were healthy, obviously we're talking second round at a minimum. But for any of our 7-round mock drafts, if you've watched or tuned into any of those, you often see us targeting Garrett Williams around that period because we think he has day one starting capability. Absolutely. We move on to cornerback 4, and you guys have a consensus with South Carolina's Cam Smith. So Darius Rush and Cam Smith, 2 Gamecocks, make your top 10. Headley, I'll start with you. Why CB4 for you with Cam Smith?
He just plays with an edge, tenacity, click and close. He's ready for the physical parts of the game. That's an important attribute as a corner, just to want to come up and tackle. He plays with energy. He's just an emotional leader on the team. You can see him on the football field, just got that dog. It's the Michael Parsons at the corner position, just always coming. He competes all the way through the catch point, gets his hands on receivers, sticky, nonstop motor, click and close. I said that twice, but he just has to be careful on those double moves because he's a very aggressive. So the double moves might get him a little bit. But this season against Tennessee, against Jalen Hyatt, I thought he played him the best out of anybody I've seen in the country. He was able to give Jalen Hyatt like 10, 12 yards of cushion. And on those shorter routes, he'll come up and make a contested bat down. And then Jalen Hyatt couldn't run by him because, this guy is a fast guy, but he's also 10 yards away from you. So, he's off coverage. So that ability to be that far off coverage and click and close and make it hard for receivers, I think that's a special skill set for Cam Smith.
Yeah, and you talked about in terms of how they used him in that Tennessee game. And, when watching tape from previous years, because I don't think he started this season. I think he was coming in injured or whatever. But
they rotate corners a lot.
That is true. That is true. That is true. He kind of gave you. I think you probably have. How I want to say this, man.
I don't know how you want to say it.
Let me think about it. I got it in my mind. I'm trying to. I think in terms of all the corners that I watch, I think I've seen the most zone and man from him evenly in terms of how he was used, because this year I think he played more zone than he did play man. And I think the year previous he played more man coverage, and he is physical. He's about that life. He kind of reminded me in terms of his physicality. Not Joe Horn. What's the JC? See, I was going to say Joe Horn. See, I'd be dating myself, but that's terrible. don't look at Joe Horn. Don't look him up. Don't look him up. Physical like JC Horn, but I also think he may be the twitchiest cornerback in this class for me that I've watched in terms of that click and close, being able to close in on that space, and being able to play that man, that zone. And I think he is a fantastic tackler as well from the corner position. And I think you're going to be able to do a lot of things with him, whether it be in the slot or out wide. He uses the boundary well, so he understands where his help is at, obviously. So he was cornerback 1 for me coming into the season. Just a couple of other guys got a couple better attributes than he does that I like, but I'm high on Cam Smith.
Yeah, and to your point, Drew, I think that was on the strength of the 2021 tape, which is phenomenal. The 2022 tape isn't bad, but 21 was a different animal. So Cam Smith, cornerback 4 for Headley and Drew. We move to cornerback 3. Actually, and I just want to make sure, I'm not sure that we depicted this. Headley, you have him considered a first round prospect at 6'1", 180. So a lot of love for Cam Smith here. CB3 is Devin Witherspoon for Headley, Joey Porter Jr. for Drew. I want to start with you, Drew. Joey Porter Jr., obviously the legacy. His father, Joey Porter, a linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was actually expecting him to be a little bit bigger as far as his weight is concerned, but he represents great size at 6'2.5", 193. What are your thoughts on Porter?
I got big body, plays to his size, long, physical, aggressive, attacks the ball in the air, has short area quickness to recover. He could be a little too overly aggressive, but from the cornerback position, I'm going to take that. And I'm not talking about down the field. I'm talking about at the line of scrimmage when he gets his hands on you. And he plays in the slot, plays outside. There's no panic when the ball's in the air. I wish he had a little bit more production this year. He didn't have the production in terms of the interceptions, but you see there he has 11 pass breakups, so you know he can get to the football. But that recovery speed is probably, when you combine that with his physicality, those are probably the top two attributes of Joey Porter Jr.
Witherspoon, cornerback 3, cornerback 2. I got Porter and Witherspoon with the same grade. I don't want Jake to jump on me, man, by this guy Witherspoon. So I got to preface by saying that because, Witherspoon's a heck of a player. He's able to get his eyes around, locate the football, catch the ball at the highest point. He's usually in phase always. I know he's only 180 pounds or something like that, and that's going to be the knock on him because of the size. Is he going to get bullied by bigger receivers? But the tenacity that he plays with, man, and the swagger is always on 1,000 with him, man. It's like he's a talker, man. He's going to get in your face. He's going to trash talk you. He's going to tell you how he hits you, how good he is, how you can't catch the football, and he gets in receivers' heads, I think. And when you watch the tape, especially against Michigan, it's just a corner. You're on that island out there as a cornerback. You're not supposed to be making play after play after play in the run game, in the pass game. That's like linebackers or safeties, but he's one of those guys with that mindset of a linebacker and a safety. So, I think some people have him in the top 10. I think Detroit, number 6. That's a destination a lot of people are having him. And I like him in there. The Falcons at number 8. So I don't think he gets out of the top 10, man. I think he's a special player.
Spoon, if I'm not mistaken, was a 0-star recruit, had no D1 offers out of high school, right? And you fast forward, and he's in consideration to be a top 10 pick. Heck of a player, both he and Joey Porter Jr. We flip it at cornerback 2, same players, just reverse order. As Headley mentioned, he had the same grade for both Witherspoon and Porter. Why do you give Porter the edge, though, Headley?
I don't really think I give him the edge. They're just two different players. They're two separate players. I think Porter is more, he got the size, like you said, the 6'2". I think they're both physical. I think Witherspoon is more in phase. He's more sticky than Joey Porter. But Porter has that thing where it's called makeup speed, and he breaks on the football and those long arms. Witherspoon doesn't have the size of the Joey Porter. So, they're two different players, but they're both 7.75s for me. Joey Porter, I like his stab, turn, run, locate the football, make a play. I know the ball production wasn't big for Joey Porter. I think that's going to come with the next level. I know the joke is, can he catch? Remember we had that about who was that?
Yeah, we need that soundbite, bro. Need that soundbite.
Mackenzie Alexander, yeah.
Like, can he catch? We're gonna see it at the next level.
It based off of what we know, what we understand. Well, I don't know how many picks has he dropped, bro. Yeah. Can he catch? I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Because he's usually in phase, and what really gave me the nod with Joey Porter is when I saw him against Marvin Harrison Jr. I might call him Marvin Harrison Jr. the second, but Marvin Harrison Jr. He played him well. He played him well. I thought he played him better than any corner I've seen. And even when Harrison separated, Porter was right there. You're not getting much yards after the catch when Joey Porter is right there. And I liken him to guys like Jalen Ramsey, J.C. Horn, those big physical guys on the outside.
Yeah, Devin Witherspoon, bro. I almost wanted to put him number one, but I just couldn't because of the size. I gotta ding him, gotta knock him for something, man. But I got in my notes, man. Here, he's playing a different brand of football. He's playing a different brand of football than everybody else, man. You're not supposed to do the stuff he does at the cornerback position when you talk about run support, bro. Nobody's looking for that, bro. But he is that guy. And Headley talked about him playing against Michigan, man. That was a beautiful tape to watch in terms of him playing either outside or in the slot, him playing off coverage, on coverage. Like, he was a problem for them. Like, he was taking away receivers. Like, there wasn't an option for the receiver. And his ability to play off and be able to close in time to separate ball from man is something to behold. And at that size, not to say that he's small, obviously, but when you talk about Porter and you talk about our number one. Those guys are just bigger and longer. You know what I mean? But he plays like he's bigger and longer. You know what I mean? You're like wondering, like, damn, he ain't that big. He's not that big. He's not in the 6 foot category. But he makes you think that he's that because he's always around the football and in phase and right there, man, to make a play. If he was 6'1", bro, I'm giving him the nod as cornerback 1, but I gotta ding him a little bit.
I gotta ding him a little bit. All right, that takes us to cornerback 1, and we've been consistent here at Couch Potato General Manager with respect to cornerback 1 in season, relatively early in season. We made the declaration. Christian Gonzalez remains atop the cornerback rankings for both Headley and Drew. Why is that, Headley?
Got it all. He got the complete package because we talk about guys that could tackle like a Joey Porter, guys with size like a Joey Porter, but then you have the fluidity like a Devin Witherspoon, and he possesses both. He's the best of both worlds. Has a versatility also inside, outside, zone, man. It's pretty much no weaknesses in Christian Gonzalez's game because you'd be like, okay, can he come up and tackle? Yeah, he helps in the run support. He's not going to knock heads off, but he's a really good tackler. And we talk about cornerback prospects of the past. A Sauce Gardner we saw last year. I have Sauce a little higher than him, but also Patrick Surtain, another guy that came out. And I'm going to throw it back, man, because I was super high on Marshawn Lattimore. And when I see Christian Gonzalez, man, I think when I watched Marshawn Lattimore at Ohio State, just the fluidity, and the knock on him coming in was the ball skills. And he showed the ball skills this season in 2022. What else I have for him? I think I said it all. Fluid movement. He blow up plays through blocks to receivers. He's only a sophomore, so he's a younger player. But he helps in run support, closes ability to time the blitz, attacks the football like a wide receiver in the air. And man, yeah, he's a complete package, man. He's our cornerback 1, and he's been that for a while. I think he should be the first corner off the board. Some people think Witherspoon, but I don't think he gets outside the top 10.
Yeah, I know earlier in this live we talked about Bijan Robinson being a smooth cat, and I think Christian Gonzalez is right along with that in terms of no wasted movement. It looks easy, Juice. I think you spoke about it earlier in terms of, and sometimes we just take these guys for granted in terms of their ability to move and do things so effortlessly that you almost don't even realize it. It's just kind of like, okay, well, that's what it's odd. It's odd, and we take guys like that for granted, and the brother is just smooth, man. Like, there's
oily
no
hips, oily hips.
There's no corner in this class, no safety in this class that's as smooth as this guy in the secondary. And I think maybe people are just tired of talking about him, so they're trying to bring up other guys. So. You don't think so?
I don't think they were talking about him as much as we have, and now I think the buzz is picking up for him after that combine performance.
Listen, I don't see how he's anybody. I don't see how he's not cornerback 1, because if you're putting Devin Witherspoon over him, how? Because he can do what Devin Witherspoon can do with the size, right? And he has the size. If you're putting Joey Porter, which I haven't seen Joey Porter as the number 1 corner for anybody, he's got the speed, he's got the fluidity, he's got it all, man. Like, somebody got to explain it to me. If he ain't cornerback 1, so you explain it to me. Hit me up. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe we watched the wrong games, bro.
We had an opportunity to talk to Michael Wilson, or you guys actually had an opportunity to talk to Michael Wilson in Mobile. And Michael Wilson by all accounts, was the most impressive receiver start to finish. When you talk about the
Mhm.
practices as well as the game, I think he put the best week together among the receivers. And you asked him, Drew, who gave him the stiffest competition, who really gave you trouble, and he mentioned Christian Gonzalez. He said, like you guys just mentioned, he is the total package, right? From a technique standpoint, from a measurable standpoint, from a ball skills perspective, he has the entire game. And in this passing league, he's going to go early. He's if Arizona wasn't so desperate for pass rusher, I could see him landing third
Right there.
overall, right? With the likes of Will Anderson out there, I can't imagine that they'll pass him up unless they obviously trade out. They want to get additional draft capital, but he's the type of guy that you say Devin Witherspoon is a top 10 prospect. He's a top 5 prospect in my mind. It may not work out that way because a lot of teams are vying for quarterbacks, but he's a top 5 prospect in this class. Absolutely. All right. That's going to do it, gents. Great stuff. That is Headley and Drew's top 10 cornerbacks